Hey folks, Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat talking with Main Event Muhammad. I mean, he used to just be Belal, like Bully B sometimes to those of us who knew him. Main Event Muhammad. I can't even tell you how excited I am, Belal. How good does this feel?
Feels amazing, honestly. It's one of those things, you work your whole life for this moment right here. And it's like, right when I got that call, I'm like, dude, like not even a second guess, not even thinking about it. I'm like, of course. Like for me, for guys to say no, I'm like, are you serious? A main event on ESPN, biggest freaking promotion in the world. Like, there's no other answer but yes.
Yes, I think so. Hey, listen, are you going to be able to hold that phone like that?
Yeah, I get it. I was gonna give me one of my teammates. He doesn't understand that I'm a main event now, so he's supposed to be my servant. But
This is what I'm saying. Isn't there supposed to be a small child like on all fours, with, like making a table or something?
it's after this win, then they'll want to be my servants. But it's okay.
Yes, very nice. Well, listen,
I don't want to
it's
sell
so
my chain.
true. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Like Leon, all these people say no to him, and like you just said, main event, ESPN, why would you say no? There's only an upside for you. But the fact of the matter is, you did just fight Lima. How were you able to turn this around and get this fight so quickly?
Honestly, I was sitting there, after the fight with Lima, you have a couple days where you're eating sloppy and you're sitting there bored at home, and the coach is telling you don't come to the gym.
Yeah.
But like literally no injuries or anything. But I was just chilling at home, and I was like, man, there's nothing on TV. I watched everything on Netflix because we're in quarantine the whole week, so it's like
Right.
nothing on. And I'm like, yo, I'm bored. It's like you lost the high of a win of a fight already after a couple of days. Like, all right, I won. Everybody's celebrating, blah 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 blah. But it's like that's only a couple of days, and you're like, all right, what's next?
Yeah.
And then I was like, Ali called me and said, hey, how you feeling? How you doing? I'm like, is it Leon? And he's like, yes. Are you down? I was like, bro, let's go. And he's like, I just want to know, are you good? Talk to your coaches. I said, nah, I don't need to talk to the coaches. We're good.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's so, and the thing about it now is, like, part of me kind of wants to back up a little bit because a lot of people are getting to know you now, right? You're doing great on Instagram. You're so funny. Remember the show is killer, even though I need a rematch with Megan. I'm still a little salty. She got in there and she sneaked it. But I'm a little salty. But you're doing so great, and I really do think that a lot of it is your sense of humor that has really brought a lot of people along. And then they come and they watch you fight, and they're like, "Oh snap!" He's really good. But do you feel that, like, yeah, the last year or so momentum has changed for you, and that it is all coming together for you now?
Yeah, honestly, like you said, where it's like, for me, it's you have to be an entertainer. You have to communicate with the fans. You have to show the fans a different side of you. At first I was sitting there like, I'm a fighter, well, blah blah. Like I'm only gonna post motivational stuff, but like I don't need to fake it. Like this is who I am. Like
Yeah.
I have a sense of humor. People like me when they actually meet me. And it's always like when they meet me in person, like, oh, I thought you were different. And I'm like, no, I'm not. This is who I am. And then it's like, now that I'm like, what's all clicked where it's like, yo, just be yourself on social media. It's all clicking. But then, like you said, where people are like, I don't want to just be the funny guy. I want to be the good fighter. Like, it's like, this guy could actually fight too. And then now the followers are starting to come. The people are starting to hop on the bandwagon now. And then after I beat Leon, it's going to be like, now that bandwagon is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But like, that's part of the thing too, where it's like, he doesn't have a big following, but it's because he doesn't promote himself through social media. Like, you have to. Like, that's the game. That's the name of the game. You have to be that guy that's gonna be active on social media, talk to people and stuff like that. It ain't all about fighting nowadays. Like, you have to show them that you can do both sides. And unfortunately for him, that's probably a couple of reasons why he doesn't get as many fights as he thinks he deserves. Because he's one of those guys that think it's supposed to be given to him. No, you got to put the work in. And the work is not just in the cage. The work is outside of the cage. Everywhere you go, it's like you have to be that person.
It's true. It's all of the things together now, and that is you're 100% right. I think the fact that he is a quieter guy and he's kind of more of a let my fist do the talking thing. Well, unfortunately, you can't do that enough. Like, you don't get to fight frequently enough. You don't get to, whatever. You got to embrace the rest of the business. And I just realized, Bilal, for a second here, I was like, this is a little bit messed up. See, I'm wearing my Jamaica shirt because I'm doing the podcast with Angela later, right? And Aljo won, and I'm half Jamaican, and like, so it was the whole thing. And then literally, as you were talking about Leon, I was like, oh snap, Leon's Jamaican. It's like, that's kind of a little bit. That was a little messed up, Bully. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at it like, oh, are you serious right now? Is this coming at me? You picked your side already.
This is I'm actually helping you. This is like a mind game, Bilal. This is my subconscious smack talk coming in. But yeah, no. And anyway, that whole thing was whack. The way that Aljo won, I was really an unfortunate ending to that fight. But I want to stay focused on yours. So listen, with a main event though, obviously you're not a newcomer to the UFC, but a main event is something different. You've been joking your Instagram that you were going to be rolling out in the Bentley today, but it was still the minivan. But like, does it feel different? Is the week different for you now? Is it different for you?
Honestly, like the only really difference is just getting more media, and then now you're getting all the people you don't even know or you haven't talked to in years, like trying to give you pointers on what you should do with Leon. I'm like, where was this with my last fight? Or they all think they have the key to beat him and stuff like that. They all think they know how easy it is or what I should be doing. And I'm looking, like, I'll read their messages and it just gets annoying, but it's like I expect it. But for me, since I just recently fought, it's like, honestly, it's just like another day in the office. And like, cool. I'm not looking at it as a main event. I'm looking at it as this is just my next opponent. This is the next guy I got to walk through. I'm not thinking, man, this is the main event. This is huge. This is blah, blah, blah. This is because everybody else is doing that more than me. And for me, it's more so like, I feel like I'm too calm in this situation, but I'd rather be that way. Like even for fight weeks and things like that, like always, I like to just be joking around with my friends. And if like you're my teammate or somebody and I bring you with me, I'm bringing you with me. So we're not all in that nervous mode or we're all on edge all week. It's like I want to be relaxed all the way until Saturday. And then Saturday, all right, we can flip a switch. But we're here Tuesday. I'm not going to sit there in the hotel room thinking about the fight all week, like, on jitters and stuff like that. I just want to relax and hang around and have people around me that are joking around all the time.
Well, with that said, and I know what you're saying, like partly I think you have to spin it in the way that they're sending me this advice because they're excited for me, right? It's not because they don't believe in you, right? It's they're excited and they want to feel part of it. It's like, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I got a strategy.
Yeah, I was like, I literally had to tell my brother, yo, relax. I don't need another coach. I need a brother because it's like He was literally sending me, yeah, I saw this. And I'm like, yo, this is a 3-week fight. So it's like one of those fights where I'm not going to sit there and pay attention to what he does. Like I fought. The biggest difference is he's just a southpaw. Yeah. So I already fought like at least 4 or 5 southpaws in the UFC already. So I've already dealt with it. And it's just switching up that mindset of fighting a righty to a southpaw. But other than that, it's not like I'm not going to sit there and try to watch hours of tape of Leon because I'm not worried about him. Like I just fought. So like my biggest thing now is just fixing the things that went wrong in that fight. Mostly the calf kick. Yeah. But Leon's not going to be throwing that from southpaw stance anyway. So it's like, I'm not really worried about it. And health-wise, I'm all good. Everybody's always asking, how'd you like do this with your leg? Put your leg in olive oil and rub black pepper on there. I'm like, yo, I just jogged 5 miles. We're good.
Olive oil and black pepper, did you just say?
My mom said to me, my mom has ancient remedies for everything. Well, I was like, just let me massage you with this. Oh, you got to put it in a...
It's Lorenzo's oil. I'm just like, can I come by with a nice rustic, crusty bread and just take a swipe off your leg or something? It sounds delicious.
That sounds good, right?
Sounds really good. So, yeah, it's so funny, too, because, you were talking about the southpaw. That was Alan, who was, I think, your first fight, right, in the UFC, right? And so that fight was crazy, and we joke about that fight a lot, that you were just the Walking Dead, and we just were like, how the heck is this guy still here? But your pressure is really now what has become kind of your calling card, right? So while other people, might be worried about calf kicks and things like that, like, it is something different to know, like, wow, I just have to prepare for a zombie that's never going to stop. Like that is a little bit of a challenge, right? Because I can break down what you're good at, but also the fact is like I just have to go in there knowing I'm going to spend 25 minutes. Like that's got to suck for your opponent.
Yeah, that's a different mindset where I tell these guys, cardio is the biggest thing in this game. And it's like, once you lose that cardio, once your body's starting, your gas tank is starting to run out, and then you can't lift your arms up anymore. You see it a little bit with Aljo yesterday where he came out super fast. Yeah. And then the 3rd, 4th round, you see him slowing down. And it's really nothing you could do about it. He was just falling and throwing weird punches. Once you get to that level, it's like you can control your body with your mind, but it's like you lose, fatigue makes a coward of us all. Like once you get that fatigue, once that starts kicking in, there's really nothing you can do about it. And that's like my worst fear ever in a fight is getting fatigued. I don't care about getting knocked out. I don't care about getting tapped out. You could hold me down. But if I get fatigued in a fight, that's when I can't lift my arms up and I'm in the corner and I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't want to come out of this corner right now. I'm so tired. That's my worst fear. So for me, that's never going to happen to me. So for him, he has to think about that. And he was training for a Chimaev, who's a different guy who just went explosive and finished guys in the first round. So obviously he wasn't really worried about cardio with that one. He's probably thinking like, this is going to be an explosive fight, so watch out for this. But now you got to worry about a dog that's going to be in his face for 25 minutes.
Yeah. It's like I thought I was going to run the 50-yard dash, but now I'm in a marathon. Like
exactly.
Yeah. So it's a big deal. You are able to now really put yourself in a great place. So I know, this is something where you've obviously had a plan, but I'm not sure how close your plans are to what's actually happening right now in your career, if the timing is working out, but you've plotted out. I mean, after Leon, if you can beat Leon, like you're there now, so what's next?
That's the goal, right? Like my goal, my plan at the end of this year was to be top 5. Yeah. So that was my goal at the beginning of this year. And that's why, I won that fight and I was like, all right, I'm in the rankings now. So let me get a ranked fighter. That was my first one. All right, let me get somebody that's ranked. And they still didn't give it to me. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. Now I don't have to go through all of them long steps of, all right, I was going to wait 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Hey, I'm going straight to 3. And for me, in this fight game, rankings don't matter. Yeah. Right? Like, just because you have a number next to your name because he's number 3 doesn't mean he's better than number 15 or number 14. It has nothing to do with this. Who shows up on that night. It's whose will is going to be the one that freaking put the other guy down. Mm-hmm. And literally, if you think about it, he's on an 8-fight winning streak. I won 8 of my last 9. Yeah. So we're right there next to each other. If you're going back to the old UFC days, this is a fight that people would want to watch. This is a fight that really makes sense. So you have all these people that are freaking fair weather fans that are looking at like, oh, this is number 3 against 13. In March Madness, this would be a blowout, but it's in basketball. This is a fight. This is 2 guys 1-on-1.
Right.
And there's a big difference.
Absolutely. I tell people that all the time. Go back to the Ultimate Fighter season when Brandon Moreno was the 16th seed, and look at that kid now. Look at him.
Like, literally, it's crazy. And, like, to think about the wars that he's been in, the guys that he's been – look, the war he just won with Askarov, and you're like, he had a tie with Askarov, and Askarov looked like an amazing fighter. You're like, man, who's going to stop this guy? But you're like, Brandon Moreno, who didn't even get freaking – who got cut from the UFC, came back to the UFC, and this guy. And then you look at Jan Blachowicz, who lost – was 2-4 in his first fights, and you're like, man, there's no chance this guy's gonna win. And you're thinking that Adesanya's gonna walk through him, and it's like the MMA math doesn't add up. It's all about the guy who's gonna show up that night.
It's a totally different thing, and that's literally why I mean one of the main things I love about the job is like I go to work and I literally have no idea what's gonna happen, and that is such an amazing feeling. But I do wonder, Belal, with your ability to stay focused, with your pressure and all that, do you feel that there's any connection with how much you are a man of faith and how dedicated you are to that? Like, do you see overlaps with how successful you can be inside the Octagon as well? Is there any connection?
Yeah, I think it's a big connection because it keeps me leveled, where it's like, I don't like to overthink a lot of things, whereas I know it's like whatever happens is God's plan. This happened because of this. I had when I had my fight with Diego Lima get canceled because I got COVID literally the week of. I'm sitting there like, man, it's the fight week. I literally did an 8-week camp. What the heck? Why did this happen to me? You're like depressed. Like, why couldn't it be the week after? And you're like, man, everything happens for a reason. There's a plan for everything. So then, if you think about it, man, okay, but now I had an amazing performance with them my last fight. So maybe that happened because this was supposed to happen. So then now it's looking at me like everything starts adding up when you go back to this, and this. You're like, all right, well, God put me here for a reason. So I'm here for a reason. And I know that no matter what happens, it's all a plan. So, like, there's always a reason for it. So, like, I'm not going to get stressed out. I'm not going to let the moment be bigger than me and let people get in my head no matter what. Because, like you said, whereas when you stay leveled and you're praying 5 times a day and it just keeps you level to know that you're not bigger than anybody or you're not better than anybody. It's just all about just keeping the faith and it's just going with the plan.
I love it. Yeah, I kind of live by the if it's meant for me, it will come to me.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, where it's like before I would always be like, man, I want to fight this guy. Give me a ranked guy. Why the heck are they giving me ranked guys? What the heck? But then literally I had to put on my screensaver right now on my phone is just patience. Have patience. Whereas like no matter what happens, have patience. And even like working with Ali, Abdulaziz, like he would tell me like, brother, relax, it's gonna come, Don't force it. We'll get the right fights when the right fight happens. And like even him, where he was like, man, you deserve to be at the press conference. He was so mad. He was like, man, you should have been at that stage, but it's okay. We'll get many more. So it's all good.
Yeah. What did happen with that? Why weren't you guys there?
I lost my right hand man, Lewis Taylor. He got COVID. We went to the day of. They had us go into quarantine on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Over there, and he ended up unfortunately having COVID. So they didn't want to take any risks. Like I was negative, and because I had it before, I was okay. But he's not going to be with me this fight.
Dang. Well, and that's the thing. It's good and bad because obviously it would have been great to have you there, but the protocols are in place for a reason, and that way you can ensure that you can fight. But it does suck.
Yeah, I was like, man. But then you're like, all right, I don't want to make anybody sick from the fight card that just happened because that was a huge card. But I was like, man, it would have been so fun to be up there and add some personality to that stage.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, listen, and I know you said you got to go train. It's Main Event Muhammad. There, like the thing is I could talk to you all day, but then I know you got your podcast too, and like you'll talk about the fights on that and blah 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 blah. But I did want to ask you something because I was out cleaning my rug the other day. Do you have a real hookup with rugs?
I do. I have a hookup. House of Rugs in Chicago. Yeah, anything you want, let me know.
Okay, because I was cleaning the rug that I brought back from Turkey, which I absolutely love. It's a Turkish kiln, and I was cleaning it. I was hosing down outside. But I might need a new rug for another room. And I was like, I think I know a guy that has a guy.
Look on their Instagram. Pick anyone out. Let me know, and I'll get it sent to you.
Awesome. Well, listen, Belal, I'm so excited. I am working this show. Be totally excited to talk about you and Leon. I think it's going to be great. I think that you are just a really great example of, like you were saying, sticking to a plan, having faith, being patient. A lot of people do want instant gratification, and I think you're a really great example of somebody who's putting their time in. And like, it's funny because a lot of people are all of a sudden they're like, "Wow, this Bully B guy, he's like a superstar." I'm like, where have you been?
That's all right. Don't worry. The bandwagon's getting bigger now. People are gonna start realizing what they got in front of them. Even the UFC, they're gonna realize it, and then I'll be getting a lot more main events.
Nice. And are you in the video game?
No, not yet. I was sitting there. I keep telling people, I'm like Michael Jordan. They never put Michael Jordan in the game, so you can create me now. So people are gonna get. My brother's always getting upset. They're like, come and play. I'm like, no, I'm not playing that game until I'm in it.
Nice. Awesome. Well, it's going to be great. Main Event Muhammad. Bully B always puts on a show, and always just really great to talk to you. So best of luck. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you on Friday.
For sure. See you later.